My FPL Game Week 11 team selection, a pretty straightforward game week. We're going into not a lot of transfer targets I am looking at this week. I am going to use my one free transfer going into this week. There's also a possibility of me taking a -4, but I don't really see a lot of viable targets in the positions that I'm looking to fill based off of, the money left in the bank and squad value. Also, we're going to be discussing potential captaincy options this week with the difficult fixtures coming up. All this we're going to talk about in my Game Week 11 team selection. What is up, guys? As always, before we go into my team selection, we always look at how my team fared in the previous game week. In game week 10, my team scored a total of 77 points. I did take a point hit in that game week to see my team score a total of 74 points. And in my defense, I had Raya, who kept a clean sheet. I was doubled up on the Arsenal defense, which, like I said, is the most viable option currently in FPL. I had Raya in goal, who returned a clean sheet and returning 6 points for me as my starting goalkeeper. In my defense, I had Gabriel, who returned an assist and a clean sheet in that game against Burnley, also picking up 2 bonus points. Unfortunately, it could have been 13 with possible maximum 3 bonus points, but he did pick up a yellow card and returned 12 points. I also had Munoz, who returned 6 points in that game against Brentford. I have been really pleased since getting him. He has returned, a couple of goals, couple of assists and clean sheets. I think even a possible DEFCON in previous game week. So really, really pleased to have him so far. I would appreciate if he got DEFCONs more, like the likes of Guehi and Lacroix. Also, I had Van de Ven, who returned 2 points in that game against Chelsea. He did give away that goal. I think Chelsea were really, really good in that game. Tottenham were really, all over the place. They could have kept a clean sheet. Who knows if that goal didn't go in, if Van de Ven, didn't create that error that he did. Could have possibly gotten a clean sheet. Not really a decent game from him, but he did return 2 points. Kudos with a 1-pointer in my midfield. I also had Saka, who missed a couple of great chances to have gotten some returns in that game against Burnley. Ended up returning just 3 points in that game. I also had Semedo, who returned 2 points in my midfield, and Diaye getting a really, really brilliant goal against Sunderland on Monday night. And he also did pick up 3 bonus points in that game. Unfortunately, he got subbed out early due to muscle tightness, but he should be fit and back for game week 11. Up top, I had Jean-Philippe Mateta, who also scored in that game against Brentford over the weekend and returned 9 points in my attack. I also had Woltemad, who unfortunately got subbed off at halftime in the game against West Ham. He didn't really get enough of the ball in that game. Not enough chances created for him, and unfortunately he was hooked to return 1 point in that game. And as we all know, my third striker was Erling Haaland, who got 2 goals in the game against Bournemouth and also returned 3 bonus points as my captain to pick up 26 points for my team. On my bench, I had Dubravka returning 2 points in the game against Arsenal, Reinders, who came off the bench to return 1 point in that game against Bournemouth, Goodmanson returning 1 point, as well as Tosin, who came off the bench to return 1 point as well. Now, this is what my team looked like in game week 10, returning 74 points in total. Slight green arrow with a 100k jump into 2.4. It's been a bit of back and forth for my rank in the past 3-4 weeks. Hopefully we get, a little bit of stability going into the international break after game week 11. So let's just take a look at what my game week 11 team is shaping up to look like. As always, in goal, I'm going with David Raya again as my starting goalkeeper. Honestly, it's always a coin toss when your second choice keeper also has a really decent game, because I have Dubravka, who's facing West Ham. But I think West Ham are going to begin to, pick up a couple of points here and there. That win last weekend against Newcastle was really vital for their form and for their confidence. So I think they get back to some decent form. Also, seeing that West Ham are at home, I don't think it's going to be an easy fixture for Burnley to keep a clean sheet in. Arsenal, on the other hand, have kept 7 clean sheets in 10 games so far. Sunderland have been really terrific in their home stadium. I think they're yet to lose since their return to Premier League at home. I do think they lose this game. Arsenal picks up the 3 points. Whether or not they do keep a clean sheet in this game is yet to be seen. But I do think Arsenal should edge this one with a clean sheet. So I am going to be starting my double Arsenal defense, Raya in goal, as well as Gabriel, who is going to be my starting defender away at Sunderland. He has been really terrific for all the Gabriel owners and managers that have just picked him up. He's on terrific form, either getting the assists or getting the goals, and always keeping the clean sheet. So he is going to be my first starting defender. My second and third defenders are going to be Daniel Munoz and Mickey van der Ven, who play Brighton at home and Manchester United at home, respectively. Now, the game against Brighton for Munoz is going to be a tricky one. Brighton tend to score I think they've scored in almost every single game this season. So it's going to be a really tough one to call based on clean sheet probability. But it tends to be an end-to-end game sometimes, in the sense that Brighton like to attack. Crystal Palace would want to contain and hit them on transition. So Munoz may actually be able to get some decent attacking returns in this game. So he's going to be my second defender. Van der Ven, who we have seen has been brilliant for Tottenham, currently their highest goal scorer in all competitions this season. Got a really brilliant goal in their Champions League game against Copenhagen. Also got similar kind of assist in a game against Manchester United last season, where he teed up Brennan Johnson to put Tottenham ahead in that game. So I am going to start him. My only worry for Tottenham in this game is their terrible record at home so far this season. But I think he could get something out of this game, so he's going to be my third defender. In my midfield, I have Enzo Fernandez, who is my first free transfer used going into this game week. I did decide to bring him in just as I took João Pedro out last week to bring in Philip Mateta. I just need a Chelsea asset for the next couple of game weeks. They play Wolves at home this week, and they play Burnley in the next game week after the international break. Enzo is on penalty duties, and I have always had him at the back of my mind to bring in, just because he plays in an advanced role currently. He gets into the box, he's on set pieces, on penalty duties as well. So it's just a really, really great have, in my opinion, as a Chelsea asset. It was a 50-50 coin toss to also get Caicedo, who is really great for returning DEFCON points, but I just felt more comfortable owning the set-piece taker, who is also nailed on minutes just as well as Caicedo. My other midfielders are Bukayo Saka away at Sunderland, Semedo away at Aston Villa, and Ndiaye at home to Fulham. Hopefully Saka can get back on the score sheet. He has had the chances to have returned in the past 2 game weeks. Hopefully this is the game week where he rewards his owners with some fantasy Premier League points. Semedo hasn't really looked great in the last 3 game weeks. 3 game weeks, 3 blanks. Hopefully he can get back to goal scoring form in that game against Aston Villa. Aston Villa are a side that are really, really strong at home so far this season. They did beat City just a few game weeks ago at home. It's going to be a tough game for Bournemouth, but hopefully Bournemouth are able to score and Semedo can pick up some points in that game. Ndiaye, like I said, is my 4th midfielder. After bringing him in just last week, he repaid my faith with 9 points, and he's also been deemed fit by his manager going into this game week, so he's going to be starting for me at home to Fulham. I think this is a game he also gets something out of, a possible goal involvement, maybe 1, maybe 2, but I do like the idea of starting him ahead of my other option, which would be to start Reinders, which I am currently not sure what his minutes would be going into this game. He did get the start against Dortmund, but it's just really unpredictable right now with Pep Guardiola's midfield, so I'm going to be sticking with Ndiaye as my 4th midfielder. Also, I failed to mention, Saka is my vice captain at the moment. And up top, I have Philip Mateta, Erling Haaland, and Woutemaat as my front 3 strikers. Mateta playing at home to Brighton. Hopefully, he can continue his great scoring form for Crystal Palace. He did miss a penalty in their Conference League game. I don't think it's really anything to worry about. I think he keeps his penalty, his duties for penalty kicks, at least for the foreseeable future. So I'm going to be starting him. Also, I have Erling Haaland, who my captain armband is currently on. He has scored against Liverpool at the Etihad. Liverpool have looked to like they've bounced back. They got the win against Aston Villa, got the win against Madrid. So it's going to be a really tight game. It's going to be end-to-end. Hopefully Erling Haaland does get something. We know that he has a terrific home record, so I think he should be able to get a goal or 2 in this game. And Woutemaat, who is my 3rd striker away at Brentford, he hasn't gotten any returns in his last 2 games. Hopefully this game turns that tide around On my bench, I have Reinders at home to Liverpool, Goodmanson away at Forest, and Tosin at home to Wolves. This is what my team looks like at the moment. Like I said, it's a 50-50 coin toss, but I am going to be sticking with Erling Haaland just because he has that great record at home. It's going to be an end-to-end game. I hope Saka does reward his owners with some points this week rather. If I wasn't going to captain Erling Haaland, I think my next option would be Saka. I am also looking at Enzo Fernandez, as a differential captain pick if I do decide to go that way, which I don't really see myself doing. But I do think he is a great option for captaincy this week as well. So this is what my team looks like at the moment. If you have any questions, please do well to leave them in the comment section and I will get back to them as soon as I can. The aim for this video is 1,000 likes, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as well. So if you did enjoy the video, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next FPL video.